Wait,
Yeah.
all right,
All right.
Call meeting order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Start with the police chief.
I have nothing, sir.
All right.
You don't wanna brag to everybody?
Yeah, vote for your pig.
You don't have nothing yet. It's only Monday.
Well, if you have over 100 votes
We're
now.
not done with it.
Superintendent Walls.
The only update I got for you guys is the concrete pad has been poured for your statue.
Excellent.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice.
All right.
Is there any more about women's-
No more word, maybe Herb has more information about that.
I thought
That's what I was wondering.
before the 28th is all I know.
All right,
That's
well,
what the paperwork said.
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. All right, we'll move into the minutes from last meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. Got a motion second, all in favor? It's all present. Except for Terry.
Abstain.
Terry was not here last meeting.
Yeah.
And then the warrants. Yes. Warrants in excess of $500 are Elon Financial Services for $1,150.93. Fields Outdoors is $3,590. Hatch Company, $2,787.40. Indiana Michigan Power for $7,171.23. Wex Bank for $554.92, and WM Corp for $10,465.74, for a total of $33,284.52.
Motion to approve bills. Second.
John Dean.
Yep.
Motion and second. All in favor? Everybody present. I do have a very long list that if you guys would like to take a look at it, for more warrants. It includes a lot of things that were, not specific checks that were written out, but like service charges through the bank, water transfers, sales tax on stuff, 77 fund, a lot of payroll stuff, just a lot of payroll stuff that, that needed to get caught up from, coming from the old system. It's about 75% payroll stuff because, I think Tim never printed you guys off these summaries with payroll items, but you're supposed to, from what I learned. So this one catches up from the beginning of the year.
Wow.
This is 13 pages long. If you guys would like to take a look at it, you're more than welcome, but it does
Do we need
need,
to sign it?
it does
though,
need to
right?
be signed off, yeah. And then going forward with these that we sign off on with the warrants that I send you guys,
Yeah.
this will have payroll withhold, it has payroll withholding on here now, cause I've been adding it on, but this will have payroll items as well. So it's gonna look longer, it's gonna be more expensive, but it's gonna include it's gonna include everything on it when we do it from now on,
Okay.
which is how we should have been
So
doing it.
we've
but I
already
didn't know.
approved these, so we just need to sign it.
These are things that were not specific checks written for, everything, all the checks that we've written have been on these. These are for payroll items or things that were not checks, could have been electronic transfers of things. Again, service charges from banks that just get automatically taken out, items like that. Again, it's about 75% payroll, just that from the beginning of the year. There's just so many items in there from payroll because every person gets paid out of, maybe three different appropriations. Times however many payrolls we've had since the beginning of the year. So going forward, I will have those. Again, they're gonna be it'll be a little bit more expensive and a little bit longer, but it'll include the payroll information. And we'll go based on that. I'm not gonna read off the payroll stuff, I'll read on checks that we cut. And, over 500, just like we've been doing.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're all caught up. We can move on to old business, starting with the ordinances for payrolls. It is ordinance 24-1423, which is the elected official, and 24-1424, which is the appointed employees.
Can you give me 1 second here, let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw, so we just need to sign this tonight, yeah.
Well, we have to.
He
we
had
have
to
a-
change
We
it.
have a first reading, and we accepted the first reading at the last meeting, so we
Right.
need to have another reading, and then we accept that, and then we vote to adopt the ordinance.
Okay.
That's for each.
Give me 1 second here. Get them going. Okay, buddy, I'm ready to go whenever you guys are.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to read ordinance 24-14-23 by title only.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 24-1423.
All in favor?
All in favor for that?
Okay. Ordinance 24-1423, an ordinance of the city of Woodburn, Indiana, Common Council establishing the salaries to be paid to the elected officials of the city of Woodburn, Indiana per IC 36-4-7-2.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the reading. All in favor? Is everybody present?
Okay.
Need a motion to adopt it.
Is that what I need to say?
Yeah.
Oh. Now?
Yes.
Oh, motion to adopt it. Motion to adopt it?
Oh, second.
Got a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 24-1423. All in favor? Everybody present.
Okay. Okay, the next one.
Same routine for 1424.
Need a motion to
I'll
read,
make a motion to read ordinance 24-1424 by title only.
Second.
Motion and a second on the table. All in favor? Everybody present.
ordinance 24-1424, an ordinance of the city of Woodburn, Indiana, Common Council establishing the salaries / hourly rates to be paid to the appointed officials and employees of the city of Woodburn, Indiana.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the reading. All in
Motion,
favor? Everybody present?
motion to adopt?
Second.
Motion and a second on the table. Everybody in favor? Done.
Shall be. Yours. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay.
said about,
Sorry.
Dan's got back on. We don't have to approve the meeting schedule, right? You look it over, we all good?
Yeah.
I added that extra date on, October, the second date in October. That way, I believe the next year for the budget, we shouldn't be this far down in a year to pass the budget. We should be able to get it done, the first, the public meeting and the first, reading in September, and then pass it in October. And then we always have a fallback date of the second meeting in October if that doesn't happen.
Sounds good. Do we have a number for the budget ordinance?
No, we do not, I'm sorry.
It's alright.
Let me get it real quick.
1425?
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be the next one right after it. Yes. 24
24 was the.
dash 1425.
Awesome. Alright, next on the agenda is the ordinance for the 25 fiscal year budget, which will be ordinance number 24-1425 for your notes. Need a
Motion to read by title only.
and I'll second that.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor? Everybody present.
Ordinance or resolution of the appropriation and tax rates.
I'll move to accept your reading.
Thank you.
Second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor to accept the reading? Everybody present? I'll move to adopt the I can't.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor? 4 yes, and I abstained.
You can't.
Yep, not allowed.
Dan abstains. All
Wow.
present. and
Because I'm on the fire department, and state law reads that if you're on a fire department, you can't vote.
Really?
Yep.
It's a new one. I did not know that.
Almost screwed that up.
Well, you can't sign it, that's for sure, right?
I have to sign it.
He's gotta
That I
abstain on
abstain.
Oh, you just have to, oh, I gotcha. Oh, I see that. I think that's the first time I've seen that.
All right. Next item on our agenda is New Allen Alliance.
New Allen.
Hello.
Hey there.
All right. My name's Tim Roy. I'm the New Island Alliance board rep from Hoagland. And for this year, 2024, I'm the president, board president. And then you guys know Herb. He's your rep. He does a great job. He's very involved. Does a great job representing the town. So here's why we're here. The purpose of New Island Alliance is, or has historically been, for the towns in East Allen County to support each other with shared resources, community development efforts, things like that. It was always a volunteer organization. Several years ago, you know that the county pitched in, everyone raised some money, you guys were very involved, we hired Christy Sturts, we were ramped up for several years, did a lot of big things. That contract expired now going on 3 years ago, okay? So since that time, we've been back to all volunteer, and as a consequence, we have ramped back down. We have not done any big things, we have not put anything big together. You can't take advantage of those opportunities as volunteers. 2 years ago, we made the rounds to all the towns, and we basically had a situation where we wanted to propose to the towns to get together to pool to hire another professional employee. Okay, we had some buy-in from some of the towns, we had some buy-in from some of the county officials. In the end, we did not get all buy-in from all the towns and did not get all buy-in from all the county officials. So we spent the last 2 years, things have moved very slowly because we're all volunteers now and time is, limited for everybody. So we spent the last 2 years kind of just putting everything together, getting all of our ducks in a row, getting the whole thing formulated, getting buy-in from the county council, county commissioners, Northeast Indiana Regional Coordinating Council, and our stakeholders that we're heading in the right direction, okay? During that time, we also met with people from all the towns. We met with Herb and Mayor Kelsey once and sat down to make sure we're thinking about the best interest of Woodburn with everybody else. So here's where we're at now. 2 years later, we are back. And all of the towns have a chance to either say yes or no to this again. If you say no this time, or if anybody says no this time, it'll probably die for an extended period. Maybe 2 years, maybe 10 years, I don't know. My term as president is coming to an end and not sure what the next board will want to do. So basically what we have is it's an all or nothing situation. Either everyone buys in together and agrees to set this person up to be successful, to represent rural East Allen County, or we're not going to do it and we're going to stick as a volunteer organization and do what we can do as volunteers. Okay? So we have, and I'm sure you guys have seen, and Herb has presented to you, an interlocal agreement, which is basically a contract between between 5 funding entities. You have the 4 incorporated towns: Leo Cedarville, Monroeville, Woodburn, and Grable. And then Hoagland and Harlan are represented by Allen County. So you have 6 towns, 5 funders. Okay? The commitment is for each of these funders $34,500 per town for a period of 3 years. This is enough to hire an experienced professional to entice them to take the political risk of this position. And 3 years is enough to entice them to come and understand they're not dependent on a yearly, budget. I understand towns can't always approve budgets 3 years out, but it's an intent to cooperate on this effort. It's a political intent to cooperate between the towns and the county for a 3-year period. Okay. That also gives us money for an operating fund so this person can hit the ground running and they don't have to start fundraising for their own job on day 1. Okay. We've arranged a position to be organized through NERC, which is a county entity. That makes it easier for us to deal with tech support, insurance, things like that. It just makes everything a lot easier. It also helped us get more buy-in from the county. They really want to see this person be successful and have a support structure around them as opposed to being on their own. Now the intent is for this person to be working in our towns, to be someone who you see and you know and is working amongst all the towns on a regular basis. They're not going to be living downtown at the county. That's very important to us, that they're out in the towns. The process from here is this. Basically, we need, if we're going to move forward from each of the 4 towns, some sort of a vote of approval. Think of it as a letter of intent, a vote of intent, a vote of understanding that the general terms of the interlocal agreement and the job description are agreeable to you and that you want to move forward. If we get that from all 4 towns, then we go to the county, get them to hold up their end of the deal, and then at some point when everyone indicates that they can make the funds available, we all sit down, everyone signs the same contract on the same day, same time, same place, and we have a start date. Then the funding entities would appoint people to hiring committee. I assume you would appoint Herb or whoever your new Allen rep is, but you wouldn't have to. And we'd find somebody and we'd put the job posting out and we would go from there. So that is where we are at now. We went to Leo. Leo asked for 2 weeks to consider and read the paperwork again. We're going back next week. We're going to Grable on Wednesday, and Monroeville is November 6th. Now it's your town. You don't have to approve anything tonight, but that's the presentation we're making to tell you here's where we are in the process, and if the towns all approve, then we're going to go to the county and keep moving forward with this thing. Commissioner Peters has indicated that if the towns approve, he will approve. If it were to happen after January, whenever the first day of the new office is, then it would be up to, the commissioners without Commissioner Peters, Commissioner Turpin, to convince the other 2. He's kind of the East Allen representative to go along with it. He has not indicated to me that he wouldn't. He more or less said he needs to learn more about it. He's not going to speak over Nelson while Nelson's still in office. So as of now, it's Commissioner Peters, and he has indicated multiple times that he has the other commissioners on board to support if the 4 towns, the 4 incorporated towns, agree to move forward. So that's where we're at. What questions do you have?
This says all 6.
But only 5.
There's four towns, and then the county represents 2 of them, so that would be the 6.
There's 6 towns, 5 funding entities. The county takes a double share.
Are they putting a double portion in?
So how much exactly did we put in?
This is $34,500 per year
Per
for
year
the
for
next
3
3
years.
years.
Yep. And we have kind of, the numbers didn't come out of nowhere. A couple years back, when we knew that the end of the Kent and Christie era was coming, that went to the Community Research Institute, who John Stafford, you may have worked with, or Rachel Blakeman, and they did kind of a study of similar rural economic and community development organizations, and they looked at what's the level of employee you're going to need to take on this job, what are they going to expect to come out and take this job, and to who's going to have the right experience to work with a rural organization like this. And so they kind of put together, this is our recommendations for an employment budget, salary, benefits, and then also for an operating budget to be able to just keep things moving. Maybe it's not going to be enough to hire contractors for a project, but enough to get bids developed, or maybe take care of some small grant opportunities or things that require outside professionals. There's been some concern that, well, how do we know our money is going to be used wisely? Well, that's what he's there for, right? He is on the board. He is the employer of this person on your behalf. So you appoint someone to the board, that person represents your interests. That's your accountability right there.
And our thought is we're gonna hire somebody that's capable of doing it. We're not gonna bring somebody in and then try to train them to do it.
Right.
And we don't wanna hire somebody that's capable of doing it and having them spend the first year going around trying to fundraise to have enough money so that they can keep themselves employed, so they can hit the ground, get out there, look for opportunities for Woodburn, in our instance. You know, what do we want? What can we successfully do? You know, we got a lot of new homes coming in here. What kind of things, you know, I've heard talking about extending trails and things like that. Get that list, and so that person would have that list for Woodburn, but also for the other communities. So when there is some kind of a grant out there where they intermesh, we can look at doing a grant for East Allen County with Woodburn getting their share and the other towns getting their share of that. Something that as an individual we can't do as a city.
What was your name again?
Tim Roy.
Tim Roy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the chair.
New Haven is not in on this
That's correct.
agreement.
They feel like they have enough staff and they have their own internal people that they don't need to coordinate with anybody else, or
They have someone on staff doing this exact job that you have right now,
pretty much.
Yep.
that you're hiring the position for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As does like Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne has teams of people. We are technically, I mean, under the realm of like Greater Fort Wayne in terms of economic development out here. But they'll be the first to tell you they don't have the resources to have somebody working in our towns all the time. I think they see this almost as, well, this is great. You could have a professional out in the rural towns who speaks the same language as all these other organizations. When we have our New Allen meetings, all these people come from all these groups, and they know so much, and we don't speak their language, right? The benefit of having, well, Kent was a volunteer, right? He wasn't a professional, but he put the amount of time in that basically was a professional level. But he spoke their language, he understands that world. Christy Sturts was a professional working on the behalf of the towns. She speaks their language, you can get things done. None of us have that capacity, we're just people. I'm from Hoagland, right? I don't know what all the acronyms mean. So that's where we're at. It's, you guys are very organized here in Woodburn compared to some of the other towns. They really need it just for their own internal leadership development. Some of the towns really need it just for pushing their own plans forward. You guys are a little more organized and have a little better leadership structure here. But even so, to find those opportunities that are out there, you know. So whatever, I'm not gonna sell you on it's your town, but
A classic example is that
Yeah.
Lilly grant that we just applied for.
Yeah.
And it, you know, when we learned that there was money there, we grabbed Andy Downs and said, hey, can you put something together for us? And he,
We didn't get that, right?
and he worked at it to try to do it. No,
Yeah.
we did not get that.
But that's a good example of the kind of things that, the reason Andy Downs was able to do that was because the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne basically had been coming to our meetings, met us, we had coffee with them. They agreed to fund his efforts to put this together, do the surveys, apply for those grants. There was 2 of them he applied for, the first one we didn't get, the second one we're still in limbo on. But if we get an opportunity like that, it mandates that we have someone like an executive director to administer that money, it's not going to allow us as a volunteer board to do that kind of thing. So it's easy for me to say it's a good idea because I'm from Hoagland and we don't collect taxes, the county pays for us. So it's up for each town really to decide for themselves if they want to go in or not.
Can this director practically do all the work without any administrative help?
I think so, because most of the work is honestly just soft skills, connection, going to meetings, being a voice at the table, knowing people, seeing the plans of each town, how they might align, finding out opportunities. Herb and I go to these meetings every other month now. We sit down and we hear about all these opportunities, and then at the end of the meeting, I go back to work, and that's it, right? These things just kind of whoosh us by. I think the things this kind of person will be doing, or the kind of things this person will be doing, are mostly soft skills, connections, relationships, which I will tell you makes some of the people uncomfortable. They kind of, for their money, they want more of a skilled trade of some sort. They want measurable talents and results, but it's really more of a leadership, a connection type position.
So you're not gonna come back a year later and want $25,000 a year for administrative support and all that? For the
I mean, this is a 3-year commitment from the towns. At the end of 3 years, does it need revised? Does it need canceled? Does it need rebuilt exactly the same? I mean, that'll be up for the towns to determine at that time. But the intent is for this to be a agreement for everyone to be in for 3 years and for it to be successful and for everyone to feel like their investment was worthwhile at the end of 3 years. What would be really easy is if we knew there was a big grant right there, and if we get this grant now, suddenly it pays for all of it, but you just never know how that's gonna work. So we're really saying it's more about the day-to-day leadership and organization in your own town, pushing your own strategic plan, coordinating your own leadership, and coordinating your ability to work with the other towns around you in this part of the county, and knowing what's going on in the rest of the county, as opposed to any big opportunities, because you can never promise that any of those are gonna happen. You just don't know.
right.
But if you don't know about them and you don't have somebody working on them, they're just gonna float by,
Yes.
Because nobody, if I hear about it in those meetings like Tim does, they talk about this grant's coming up, need to apply for this by then, you gotta apply for this by then. I don't know how to even go about it, I don't know who you would need to talk to do any of that stuff. When you've got somebody that's their job, to talk to those people, to learn about those things and to understand that, have a database of opportunities, connecting those things up, we would have a much better chance at being successful.
Was this listing description, this job description, this paper, is this the same one that we had from last time? This was not revised at all?
No, that was approved by the Allen County Council in order to create this position by the AC personnel. So it's kind of felt like we went through the pain of getting that approved. It kind of listed everything.
Because it has New Haven in here as well.
Yeah, well, New Allen Alliance technically serves the entire East Allen, but this person is going to be, I don't know how to put this. They're serving the rural parts of New Allen Alliance that need their help. How about that? So rural New Haven, sure, but they're certainly not, and they'll be working with New Haven's professional people, because why not? They've got a lot of resources and we all do business in there and vice versa. But their focus will be to be spending their time in the 6 rural communities and helping coordinate resources in those 6 rural communities.
And
So-
if it's my understanding, it's not worth the hassle of redrafting the charter of East Allen to remove New Haven from it is a large portion of why
Yeah.
all the documents regarding East Allen still include New Haven, because they were in the founding charter.
And they're still a member. I mean, they're still technically a member of New Allen Alliance. They are just not participating in this leadership effort. I'll put it that way.
That's why they're intentionally not in the interlocal agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Their board member will not serve. There'll be a 6-member board that oversees the professional if we go forward with this, and New Haven won't be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Will this person then have the abilities to write the grant?
So I think we're thinking for smaller opportunities, yes, they should have the experience to handle these things themselves or direct people in their town if it's just purely a volunteer type thing. Lead them in that, teach them how to do that, or do it themselves. When it comes to bigger opportunities where you need a big staff or big knowledge, I'm not experienced enough to tell you the answer in that, but I understand that sometimes you need a contracted third party, and that's where the operating money might come in handy.
Cause those are very technically,
Mhm.
you have to really know how to
Mhm.
word
Oh,
things
yeah.
in those to be successful.
And they take a long time to write.
Uh-huh.
I think we're going to trust the board and this person. Like Herb said, we're not wanting a young person. That's part of the reason why we're asking for a big budget. We want an experienced person. Because politically, to work within the 6 towns and the county and keep everyone happy is not something for a 24-year-old graduate from
No.
Community Affairs College or whatever. So you're gonna need someone with some experience, and we're hoping that they'll be able to help us just like we help guide them and where to dedicate their time and resources. Is this worth the resources? Is it helping more than one town? Is it worth your time? Is it worth dollars? And part of their job is going to be to really balance out their time and the resources between the 6 communities to make sure everyone's getting their representation.
So this person will be a grant writer, right?
Hmm?
They'll write grants, right?
Not necessarily, that's what she's asking.
That's
Yeah, that's
No,
what
they will not
she's,
make grants.
That will not be a technical requirement for them to do this all the time. We're hoping they can take on smaller opportunities, but as far as large, like this endowment grant, we don't expect them to spend 2 weeks of their time or how much resources doing that. They're more of a resource coordinator, I would say decision coordinator almost amongst the resources of our towns. A representative more than a technical skilled person.
how long have we been doing this?
I think they budgeted 3 years, they've already budgeted it, and they never had the position. But
We've never been able to get buy-in from everybody.
it's my understanding that a couple other communities stopped budgeting for it, right?
Well, we have not asked, we haven't sent bills for New Allen since Christie left specifically because of that. We said, if we're not engaging a professional, we shouldn't be asking money from anybody. We don't need it, we're volunteers. So the events that we've had have been sponsored, or we've pulled them out of our own savings in New Allen, because we don't feel it's right to charge people membership if we're not delivering a professional, representation.
So no one else has approved this interlocal agreement yet, you don't have anybody yet?
No, nobody else has given us that. Right now, I would say Leo has, and strike me if I curse this or if I jinx this, but right now they've indicated that they're in favor. Tyler Whitmer, their current president, I've talked to him several times, and he really seems to understand that this community development, economic development type of thing is sort of beyond their immediate town council expertise and concerns. Now, that's one person, whether it passes, I don't know. But that's the direction they seem to be leaning. Hopefully it follows through. Monroeville has always had a very strong relationship with NERC. Donnie seems to be in favor of it, and I think they have the votes there to pass it. Grable, I think, is up in the air right now. We're going there Wednesday, so we're going to find out what happens there.
Do you have this in the budget?
You guys have budgeted for every year since they've asked for it.
Okay.
We haven't spent it, but
They just have to
we've
spend
had
it.
it. We've had
You
it.
gotta
So,
put it in there.
so if we pass this, and a few other ones don't, or,
It's done. I'm not going back to ask again. It's
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean?
okay.
Whether or not next leadership of New Allen decides to make this initiative again, or the county does, or somebody, I'm not sure, but this is kind of the last round on this effort that we're making. We think we have all our ducks in a row, and we have buy-in from the right people. We've got a good program lined up. If people want to do it, great, and if they don't, that's okay. We'll move on as volunteers and do what we can.
And, as I've talked to you all, we've spent a lot of time this year talking about just trying to figure out who would house this position, and it took a lot of time with the county trying to figure it out. We looked at East Allen schools, we looked at a number of who could house this position, and we finally got to where I think everybody would have liked to had it in the beginning. But not. The county kind of went ahead and gave them the okay to do it, so it's really sped up probably over the last 4 or 5 months, where we've, let's get this thing together, let's go back to everybody, because it's been a long, long time since anybody said yes or no. We think Woodburn's in favor of it, they have been all along, we think some of them are, but now that everything's here, let's put it out there, and if everybody's a go, it goes forward. If you had a chance to look through that FAQ, I forwarded on, it talks about, if a year or 2 years from now, it's not working, it's done. If 3 years from now, it's going forward, we'll talk about what do we do to continue it, if that's what we wanna do. But, we wanna wanna have that commitment to be able to offer somebody a position that it's gonna be, yes, it's gonna be 3 years, so that, you know, if they're quitting something else or to take this job, that they can have some security there.
Yeah, the interlocal is not even, I mean, you guys are not even able to legally budget 3 years out. It's a commitment between you and the other towns, and it's also a commitment to the employee that if you come here, there is at least initial intent to make this a permanent position or a 3-year position at a minimum. Whether you do that or not, it's up to you. It's your budget, it's your town. But I don't think we can get an experienced person to come here and say, okay, in the first year, I'm gonna have to get some huge grant or I'm gonna be on the street, right? Like, they need to know that they have some time to develop,
Yeah.
All right.
so,
Anybody else have any questions? All right, thanks for your time, Tim.
yeah, thanks.
We didn't get this until today to have good eyes on it.
That's fine.
I'm gonna move that we table this until next meeting.
Wait, and what's the
Give it-
date on that?
2 weeks.
It'll be the first Monday of November.
Yeah.
The 4th, November 4th.
Okay. Leo thought they were gonna get away with not being first. They might end up doing it anyway.
So,
November 4th. Okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and
Because
make,
if you have any
I'm
questions.
gonna go ahead
we
and
can
make that
now.
motion to table that right now, and then,
I second,
just so we
yeah.
have time to dive into it a little bit more while we're not trying to read and listen to your presentation at the same time.
That's fine.
Well, I think the mayor needs to be here, too. Be involved, of course.
Got that motion in a second?
Yep, and all in favor?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
If you
Thanks
have
for
any
your
questions
time.
between then and now, talk to Herb. Herb has my information, and Herb has all the answers, honestly. He knows what's going on. So talk to him, and yeah, let me know how it goes.
All right. Well,
Thanks. I'll let
Thank
you know
you.
how Grable goes.
Okay.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't hear what he said. Who would be, he said, I heard him say one community's waiting until November 4th as well, or sometime in 2 weeks. Did he, who did he say
Leo.
before that?
Well, Leo's,
Leo,
Leo must have tabled theirs for 2 weeks
Yeah.
for a vote, and they meet with Grable Wednesday.
yeah.
Okay, would you let us know how Grable and the other one, and Leo go?
I'll let you know, I'll be both of them.
So that would, yeah, somebody, yeah.
Oh, okay,
we got our inside man.
okay.
And then that way we have an idea, I mean, you know. have an
Well,
idea
I
what's
think
going
we
on.
I think we should assess this and you know, approach it as our own entity. As if it's something that we find value in, we can make our own decision on that, and then not really worry about what the other communities are doing, because
Yeah,
I mean, all
Yeah,
all
are we
four of
go-
them have to say yes,
Yeah,
or it
no,
doesn't
right.
happen. It doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
if we see value in it, then it's something that we can move forward with. And if somebody else doesn't, well,
so no.
oh well. It's, you know, it's no skin off our back, and us not waiting on somebody else's answer to sway our decision one way or the other should.
Yeah,
I don't think
Is
that
there
should be
money
it.
for this?
I agree completely with that. I mean, I think
I'll answer it.
Woodburn needs to look at it. Is this something that Woodburn wants to do? And if the other 4 communities all, or other 3 communities all wanna do it too, it's gonna go forward, and if one of them doesn't, the thing's gonna go down.
I just don't think an uninformed decision by, there's 3 people that are on the council that they've never dealt with with this at all. So now you're hiring in this position to commit money to it, and 3 of them, I'm not sure your guys' level of knowledge on what they do or your experience with them. So you get a contract at 10 o'clock this morning, I think is when you sent it. I didn't get to these guys till 2, and then to throw up a vote seems kind of,
Well, I thought I attached it to the email 2 weeks ago. When I went back to the email where I asked to
yeah,
get put on there, I didn't attach those
Okay.
documents to it.
gotcha.
So that's my bad there. But the interlocal agreement, the only change in there is in Woodburn had a 23 instead of a 24. And Leo Cedarville, they had a change in some people on there. But the main part of the document, there was no changes. There was no changes to the executive director duties, job description.
And I know, Terry, you brought that up last time too, about there's a laundry list of stuff on that, on that, you know, under what their duties would be.
Yeah.
So, and it was my understanding, I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood. At one point, I thought you had said that that sheet was being revised and that a new copy was gonna be presented.
I think it was revised.
He said no.
No, it
From the,
wasn't.
from the one we saw like,
From the original
A
we
year
saw,
ago?
that's way revised.
No, it wasn't a year ago.
It's
it
been a
was-
while ago.
It was only three, which one?
Well, I haven't, this is the first time I've seen that. The original one I saw, that's way revised from the original one I saw.
yeah,
The,
The only one that I've seen since I've been doing it is the one that I brought here
The one was like 4 or 5
earlier
pages.
this
this
year.
one, this
And that
Allen
hasn't
County
changed.
job description.
okay.
This is the one we had just a couple months ago that you had brought here.
The-
And this is the list that Terry, that you were saying, you know, there's a lot of stuff on here.
Yeah.
That's the one that was approved by the county.
And this
And,
one,
and when we talked about that at our last New Island Alliance meeting, they aren't gonna be responsible for doing all of that stuff. That's what the county said, you know, they wanted to have a list of everything that would fit in that scope. But the 6 of us that are gonna be directing this person will be picking out the stuff that's more important and needs to be done and
gotcha.
functionally they can do.
So what do you think the first 3 or 4 priorities would be?
I think if we were to hire that person today, I would want that person to come and meet with you all to talk about what your visions for Woodburn are, you know, where you see a need for Woodburn, whatever they may be, and then meet with the other towns as well to find that out, to begin to put together a list of, you know, like a database of,
That's
Things
essentially
that-
their job function, right? And they're gonna meet with these communities, what do you guys need? I'm gonna take all that information in and let me find something that fits this as a whole, right? Is that basically the job?
well, and, you know, there may be something there that's Woodburn specific
Oh, okay.
that they're going for, you know, but if Woodburn and Graybull are wanting to do the same thing, then why not team
Combine
it
it, yeah.
together and try to get both in one shot?
But Dean, we budgeted this, the last 3 years, you guys had budgeted in for this position. It was, they said they never sent any bills out because they didn't have the person there. And we did move it forward again into this year. A couple other communities said they haven't, they didn't do the funding for it, because it's been 3 years that they didn't
Well,
budget
yeah.
for it. From what I understand. But we did, but I believe we did move this forward into our new budget for next year. Cause I wanted to spend the money last year. It got shut
We
down.
wanna spend it,
yeah.
we wanna spend it
Yeah.
this year, right?
Yeah.
This year, that's what I meant, sorry,
We wanna
this
spend
year.
it this year.
Yeah, I wanted to spend the money this year and,
Yeah, it's pretty clear that's not gonna happen
yeah.
before next
There we
year.
go.
Even if everybody's a go, because it's gonna take some time, you know, to get signed, and then you're not gonna hire somebody. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna have to
Well, we-
put out some RFPs out there, and you're gonna have to sit down and interview people and all that kind of stuff, so. And somebody, depending on where they're
And
at.
who's
their
in charge
career.
of doing that?
I'm sorry.
Who's in charge of hiring?
It would be
Them
the
guys.
6 of us.
The board.
Okay.
The representatives from each place.
Do you have any candidates at this point?
Tim said that they had 2 people that were interested. I had somebody that I had talked to that thought she might be interested, but I talked to her September of 23.
Yep.
And she actually attended some of our meetings virtually, just to find out what New Allen Alliance was about. But,
Seems like we have to be a networker and probably have contacts with the state and the county, rather than bringing somebody from Virginia here or something, so,
that would make sense,
yeah.
absolutely.
Thanks for your input, Herb.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, next on our list.
Sorry, can I?
Oh, no.
Or can I ask you one more
Can't.
thing? Sorry. What's the date on the monument? I'm sorry. I know we were talking about it earlier. I just,
Yeah, at the meeting, they said that they're being worked on.
uh,
They should be being worked on, and that they thought 22nd, 23rd of this month, maybe they would be done.
That's tomorrow.
And then they were gonna, and then.
November.
Oh, November.
No,
He said this month.
October.
October 28th is the date I got.
And then they were gonna send them a car dealership. Kelly or somebody has agreed that they would clear coat them,
Oh, nice.
all of them, so that they would last. And I don't know what kind of time frame that is.
So is there any word that they're finished and they're waiting on that, or they're?
I have not talked to anybody yet.
Okay.
I'll reach out.
Well, how are we gonna reach out to the community and let them know?
I'm
I
sorry.
think that'd be on, I think Jeannie said
You're
that
gonna
she
be
would.
sending out
I think
flyers?
she offered to do an unveiling ceremony.
Yeah, we.
No, I know that, but I mean, how are we gonna get the community involved? Are they gonna be able to know this is going on by a flyer I mean, how are we doing that?
Well, I had talked to the mayor about, I thought maybe we should now or soon put articles in the local newspapers about this coming, so. Or, I'm not sure how they want it worded. I guess if we wanna go that direction, I need to talk to a gal who just sent me, she's the, community relations person for the commissioners or whatever. How, if it's all right if I write something and put it in our local papers, or maybe give her the name of the local newspapers and see if she wants to do that.
Ooh.
I cannot pronounce this lady's last name.
Can't really do it, you can't put out any information until they have a date of when it's
True.
even gonna be
Right,
completed,
true.
so. But if they tell you in 2 weeks, oh yeah, it's gonna be done and delivered in 3 weeks, you know, it's gonna be kind of,
Be too late for the paper.
it's gonna be a tough schedule, yeah, you're gonna be on a rush.
Well, you can.
So who's gonna be there then, just us? Is that what I mean, are we gonna,
It does say between October 28th and November 15th.
Oh, okay.
The first article could be just that this is coming and this is what it is all about.
Mm.
That, you know, we're celebrating our 200 years being a part of Allen County.
Woodburn's gonna be getting a new sculpture. You may
Yeah,
have seen the pad in place and, you know, it's in celebration of the 200th for Allen County. Something,
other people I've talked to don't seem to even know that we're celebrating our 200
Yeah.
years.
that's what I was wondering if anybody knew.
Well, you know, I'm not quite sure what that's, cause Fort Wayne has had all kinds of special events for this. They had what was that one in April, they called it the kickoff for this. They've got a website that shows all the activities, which, cause we had this lady that's their community relations come talk to our Lions this spring. And so, we gave them a whole packet of information. I gave our trustee a whole packet of information about this, cause I had gone to the meeting in Fort Wayne about it. So, I don't know, well, maybe, I bet you the people who probably get the Fort Wayne newspaper might have seen some of these activities, I don't know.
I was just curious, cause, you know,
Well, I've been wondering about it, cause I
you know.
get people asking me all the time about it. I show them a little picture of the statue, and they're like, and what's gonna go on it?
Has that been in the Courier?
Well, see, it hasn't
I
been,
don't think I've seen it, so.
no, I don't think any of it has been in our.
Might be good to
paper.
contact them.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, I'm not sure I'm the person that's supposed to do this article, but I'm gonna check with Emily and see what she says. I mean, even if we don't have a specific date, we could say approximately.
Yeah, just like he said, you said the 28th through the,
October 28th to the 15th.
yeah.
My contact, her gave me Alex Halls, who,
yeah,
Sent
she's
me-
in charge of the sculpture project.
yeah, she's what sent me the information.
She's
Thanks,
in-
guys. I just didn't know if they were even wrapping up or anything, so.
Well, that's why I keep coming, cause think I'm missing something here that I'm supposed to be doing for this. My husband's beginning to wonder if I joined the group or something. No, but I gotta know what's going on so I can decide if I'm planning a ribbon cutting or not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is the 3-year growth levy assessment. Kevin had sent me a week and a half ago or so asking for everybody to indicate whether or not they would approve it or not. Nobody got back to him, so we have to do it tonight if this is something we want to move forward with. Feel free to add whatever you need to, Kevin.
Yeah, this is, showing, you know, over a 3-year growth period that we grew more than the, state minimum or the standard that they have set. Yeah, this would bring in an additional $23,131 for the year. We can do these every year. We can apply for these every year that we're eligible for it, which is over that 2% or whatever the I believe it's 2% threshold. This is basically just getting us. We have extra people here in town. We're just getting the tax money from them. We just have to basically apply for it. From what I understand, they said that years ago you could just apply for it and you got it. Now you kind of have to fill this paperwork out and explain why you need the extra money and what you're gonna use it for. So, I mean, you know, what we have written was, you know, an extra police officer that we're gonna be getting in, about how, you know, there's more city to cover, we need more guys.
Were we limited how often we could apply for this?
No.
Like we could do it every.
Initially, we had thought that, but it's not. It's any year that we're eligible above a 3-year growth period factor equal to or exceeding 2% of the statewide growth factor. When we're above that, we can apply for it any year that we're above that threshold.
We should be able to do that the next couple of years then.
We could do it every year.
Every
So
year.
next year,
Yeah.
if we get those houses, they're gonna look back again, those 3 years, and then we can apply for it again next year.
And the way the maths out on this one is it's increased revenue and it's still a drop in the effective overall tax rate anyhow. It's just not quite as drastic of a drop, but the effective tax rate still goes down and we see the additional revenue, so.
The effective, so it goes down either way. If we pass this, it still goes down just a little bit less. I had sent it, I think last meeting, it was in the paperwork for that, the percentage or the amount that changes. So, but yeah, taxes go down and we get the money that we're supposed to be getting since we have more people.
So we need to make a
we've
motion
already-
to
yep.
approve.
We've got the paperwork all done,
Yeah, I got the paperwork all done, ready to sign.
we just need
A motion to approve?
Second.
got a motion and second, all those in favor? That's everybody present.
John, that was you?
Yeah.
John for the second. Okay, so I'll send this down to you guys. There's a side for and against, and you guys just wanna sign on the for side, and we should be good to go. This is actually due tonight, so soon. I
Okay.
didn't know. They originally told me that I needed to approve for us to even get to this point. And then I talked to her again after the meeting. She said, no, you don't have to approve it to bring it up, but we do have to pass it. It's not just something that we can send in. So I didn't get this till this morning either.
So you can track that tonight.
We have to get this, cause tonight is the deadline. So we have to get this signed and I have to scan this in along with the other information that we have of the supporting documentation for it and email this in tonight. If we finish before midnight, so.
Yes, we're working on that.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Next on the list is the Ashwood Point project.
If you wanna check that out, that's the act.
Is it the plot map?
The plot
Is that
map.
what they call it?
Yeah, 39.
Shows 39 new lots going in.
This is.
They've already got all the utilities and the roads cut in, the lots all built up, ready to build on.
House.
That,
Yeah, I think you guys signed this for
There's Becker Road.
For section 1, I think you guys signed that also.
Yeah.
It's just a plot map assigned that they
Yeah,
gotta
that's
turn in.
the second
So,
phase.
yeah,
This
that's
is-
all it is.
Yeah, this
So
phase
this-
already here.
What if we all said no?
Goes
Does
back
that
to
mean
like
they
that.
don't
This
build?
phase is done.
Oh, that, okay, yeah.
This is a new phase.
Just curious.
Oh, this is,
I
this is
mean, we
the
can't
new
really
phase.
stop
Yeah,
this.
this is
It's all
already
in. This is,
Yeah.
that's a plot map so they can start building homes.
Okay.
Your
They
daughter.
would say why you didn't
Yeah,
sign it,
back here,
and then you
beside you.
say, well, I don't
Yeah.
like this, and then you have to come up with a new design or something, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
They've already approved the design.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Look that place.
What's that?
Appropriate.
So,
It'd be pretty
Yep, we
size,
just-
isn't it?
as a group, everybody needs
When
to
you
sign
get
that.
everything done.
I don't believe it requires any other action other than signatures.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's Becker Road there.
Yeah,
came in
It's
as,
all done.
the next item came in as a separate email from the mayor
Okay.
this evening.
Mennonite church
So
up
another
here.
one, driveway, daughter lives in here,
Up here. Yeah, well,
the driveway, I mean, yeah.
what's that?
So,
It's kinda hard to see.
Maumee Meadows, is proposing a kind of a grand entrance into the neighborhood off of 101. I wasn't able to get it printed off for everybody to see, but
So we need to approve this?
they are looking more or less for us to say whether or not we would support their effort. I believe this is going to require a variance from the county as far as zoning is concerned because of the windmill. The brick sign and the landscaped median going into it is not a problem. That's well within their zoning. I believe the windmill may require a zoning ordinance. So what they're looking for is council to give them a vote of confidence or approval on this, that when they apply for their zoning ordinance, if it turns out to actually be required, that we would be in support of having an entryway that looks like this.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Who will maintain that?
The association, the homeowners association will be,
Okay, so they do have an HOA out there, is that what you're saying?
I'd assume.
I don't got
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
I don't know that actually.
well,
Oh,
You
They-
guys
they-
have
I
an
just assume-
HOA?
yeah,
I'm
we
assuming
have
they
an
have
HOA,
Yeah,
yeah, they'll have,
windmill one.
yeah.
Okay. Is that
I
one
haven't
that-
seen the HOA documents, but, in order for something like this to be maintained and with the detention,
Yeah.
with the detention ponds the county requires
something
now,
different.
maintenance around those is something that has to be taken care of too, so. An HOA is
I didn't know
the
that.
only way it's funded. The city would not be responsible
That's
for
what I
maintaining
wondered,
it.
yeah.
Top right, no, top
Okay.
right.
So,
As long as it's maintained, I mean, that's the catch on some of these entranceways, but I think it's very pretty.
I don't think we need to bring this to a formal vote either, but if we can have a discussion and everybody come to an agreement as to whether or not this is something that they would stand behind. And we can document it in our notes that,
Yep.
this is something that the city doesn't have a problem with, and we would support them in their efforts to get this pushed through. But I think it looks very nice. It'd be a nice statement piece coming off of 101.
I agree,
Much needed,
yes,
Yeah,
much needed.
so,
but shouldn't we stipulate though that it needs to be maintained? I know you guys are saying you think they have an HOA, but,
They pretty much have to have an HOA,
okay,
cause you got ponds and commons
Yeah.
okay,
to take care of.
okay. Cause you know, that man right over there would
I'll
probably
sign that.
get mad if it's not.
Okay.
Are you listening?
All
Mr.
right.
Sarrazin, you would
Well-
have,
is it safe to note that everybody is in agreement that this would be something that we'd support?
So,
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
yeah, we'll document that in the minutes,
We're all
that
for beauty.
everybody's in support of that.
All members in support of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kevin, do you have anything else?
Would you like to see it, Mr. Code Enforcement?
I'll see at the end of the meeting.
No, I have nothing else.
Okay. Jeannie, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good
Okay.
for right now. I'm happy that we got our ribbons up and they look really
They,
good.
they look
They
very
do.
nice.
And nobody has done anything mean to them.
Yeah, it's not Halloween yet.
That's true. Well,
Don't bring that up, knock on wood, quick.
got it.
Herb, do you have anything else? Okay.
I got
Francis?
2 things.
Okay.
One, they're still going up and down Ash Street with the big heavy equipment. And I think they're getting really close to asphalting those streets in there.
Yeah.
And,
What equipment's going to put down there?
Huh?
Who's taking the
We
equipment?
had some, concrete trucks. When they did the curves, they were going
Oh,
up and down.
they've all been told not to go down,
Well,
there's no sign,
apparently they're deaf. 'Cause
there's
they're
no
not
post for me to
listening.
put signs up now. I have the signs, but there's no place for me to put
And you
them.
know that,
There's no post at the sidewalk.
Are they-
the asphalt equipment's
Or
gonna
on
be
the
pretty
street.
stuff.
Ash Street?
They're not supposed to be using, no one's supposed to be using the road, they all been told.
Are they,
Yeah, but
are
they're
they
not
driving
listening.
over the,
Oh.
are they driving over the tape?
No, cause
They
that
took the
tape
tape
wasn't put
down.
up, that tape was put up after they were done with the job. After
Yeah.
they did the curbs.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I went past Linwood Apartments today,
Oh,
and their dumpsters are overloaded.
I
I
have,
mean, just stuff falling out the top, both dumpsters, there's stuff all over the grounds, I thought I even saw a mattress sitting out there on the ground, and that's your area, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what day they pick up the trash, but I guarantee you they're
I
not
think
gonna
it's
pick up the ground
Tuesday.
trash.
Tuesday.
I think it's Tuesday.
It'll be Tuesday.
Yeah.
It'll be
Does the
tomorrow.
Trash service,
I'll
Pick up
just
there
bet
too?
they won't,
The one-
and I mean,
They
it's
probably
piled
pick up
up
that
big time.
I have
mattress.
no idea.
I don't know where it came from, but it's piled
They
up,
Oh my
sky high.
the city picks,
On the
picks
ground.
pick up.
You took those?
You might have to
Dumpsters,
keep
but
an eye on
versus
that.
today.
Because
Dumpsters.
I doubt they'll pick
Yeah,
up the
but-
dumpster, but they won't pick up anything that
That's
falls
loose
off.
snow.
It's not,
They need
they're,
another dumpster.
it's
Why
their
don't
own
they get another
contract, it's not the
dumpster?
city's contract.
What's the problem?
Yeah, and they're,
Send that to
Oh,
me.
yeah, they won't pick anything
I
up.
think I still have
it's gonna
that
be a
guy's.
huge mess. Even if they put the new dumpsters in, they're gonna have to put them either on top of the trash, or sit them way out,
Did a bunch of people move out or something?
so.
Set them way out, then
That's
it starts
crazy.
piling
Yeah.
over.
But that was today.
Like it was.
That
Then we
is
talk about
crazy.
contacting health department and stuff.
This is the worst I've ever seen it over there,
Yeah, he just showed me a picture, that's bad.
yeah.
That's worse than I've ever seen it.
So, I'm done.
Okay. No, I was gonna bring that up too. I received a photo of it today and I said I would bring it up. All right, thanks, Francis.
I will try to get in touch with the property manager. Again, if I can find that info, I think I've got it.
Dead bugs.
If you'll.
Yep, I'll
forward-
send it to
okay,
you.
Forward that picture.
Mr. Graber, you have anything?
Not since they brought it up.
Oh, you were gonna bring that up, huh?
No, I wasn't back there since last week, so.
Oh,
Mr. Gens?
Me?
Yes, do you have
Uh,
anything?
2 things, on the documents, I'm a he, him, not a woman. It's
What
gotta
is
be
it?
It gotta be done with a woman on there, but that's all right.
On where, on this?
On our early documents, on our ordinances and stuff, our works. Not on that, the early ones tonight. On
the
minutes.
ordinances?
Yeah,
I know exactly.
I'm a he, him.
You're a he, him?
I'm a he, him. Second thing is, did they bring up the last time about Ag Plus vacating the elevator? And they want to, they'd like to cede the property to us. And of course, that's gonna take a lot of money to tear the buildings down.
Yeah, it will take a lot.
But there is some brownfield money out there. I think the mayor's supposed to be looking into
Spell
that.
check.
So,
Well, that wouldn't have helped.
So,
if you guys are aware of it, something to think about.
Deed that to Woodburn.
Yeah.
the representative from Ag Plus was here when we had our,
Yeah.
Annexing.
all right, yes, thank you,
Annexing.
that word.
Yeah.
The annexing meeting, and that property was also brought up as far as being vacated by the end of March of next year,
Right.
and the potential for the city to take ownership of that and what that might look like. So that discussion has been started, and the mayor is looking into possible grants for brownfield projects or something like that.
Right.
We made no commitment one way or the other to that.
Right.
We're gonna have to do very much our due diligence before we decide one way or the other on that, in my opinion. There's potential for a positive there in that, but there's just as much, if not more, potential for it to turn sideways, in my opinion.
It's probably an $800,000 project to get rid of those silos, so we're gonna have to have a lot of help on that. if we
Yeah,
find it.
yeah, and that's where
Wow.
my concern lies, is what kind of financial commitment we'd be making by taking ownership of that property on both sides of the street.
But
So,
you hate to have them sell it to another farmer, then they'll sit there and get all kinda crappy looking, and so it's,
well, we've dealt with people that don't take care of their property before, and we've won. So, that's less of a concern for me.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Mr. Gary?
No.
Mrs. Saracen? All right, and Francis was kind enough to bring up the only item that I had, so. If nobody else has anything else, I'll
Move to
call for
adjourn.
an adjournment. Second, all right.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.